Going 6'4", just a touch slower than he's been. It doesn't take long, you can't take
through the halfway, and he's well under world record pace. Crooks, will he lower his recording? But folks, it's all about Dressel. Can he get record? And he gets it. He gets it all right, and he's sub 20, 19.9.
Going sub 20 is just insane. We're gonna look at what makes Jordan Crooks so fast and how we can apply those same principles to our freestyle to help us be fast. We're gonna look at a race analysis by Ksebati, one of the top swim YouTubers on YouTube, and I'm gonna react to his reaction. Let's see if we agree on the same tactics for getting faster.
The fastest 50-meter free Crooks and show you everything that he's doing. There's Caeleb Dressel in the blue swim cap. Now, I actually filmed this video at the ISL World Final in 2019 in Las Vegas. He's got Flo Manitou right there in the lane next to him. Look at that speed. We're going to look at the dolphin kicks, the number of strokes that these guys take.
Caleb and Jordan actually kind of have a similar type stroke. It's interesting to see the comparison.
Absolute power that they are swimming and how you can apply it to your own swimming. There's Dressel into the wall. In this race, he went 20.20 or 20.2 something, and later on he actually went 20.1 in a more inefficient race. So before we go back to Caeleb Dressel, let's watch Jordan Crooks and see the man in action. And I want to break this down piece by piece so that way you can really understand all the different things that he's doing. And again, some of the things no one's really talking about. So let's go ahead and play the footage. And it's immediate that he gets off the block like an absolute freight train. So let's see him in action. Here we go. Boom. Now, it's important to remind ourselves, he is not the fastest off the block by reaction time, meaning from the time the beep goes off to your toes leaving, he is not the fastest off the block. All these guys are pretty close. Obviously, you can see that they're all pretty close.
That's interesting.
But he actually enters the water as one of the last people to cut through into that little hole. Now, let's take a look at what I mean by that. You can see right here, look at him. He is clearly getting more distance from the start than all the other swimmers. Keep in mind, these are the best swimmers in the entire world. To give you a benchmark of how far this is the 5-meter mark off of the wall. From the distance to the wall to the change in color on the lane line where I just drew that red line, that is the 5-meter mark. If you look at where these guys are going to enter the water, they're going to enter right about there, right about there, right about there, maybe 4.5 meters out. Guys and girls watching this, you could not even go that far if you had a running start. That's how phenomenal all of these guys have from an explosiveness perspective. And Jordan Crooks is that much better than all of them. To give you an idea, it's just him, Caeleb Dressel, Flo Manitou, some other swimmers from the past come to mind as well. But there's just a handful of people that rise above the crowd. And in a 50 freestyle, this is incredibly important because it sets you up for the rest of the race. The race is start, turn, finish. So if you have the best start in the world, you're already 1/3 of the way there. Now, what's really important is what happens after this point, how you actually enter the water, and how you transfer that speed into the stroke. So let's go ahead and watch exactly how that looks like. There he is, into the water, human dolphin. Now, all these guys have incredible underwater dolphin kicks. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, I want you to realize he does not go that deep. Remember, he was higher than everyone. He was entering the water further out than everyone. But from a depth perspective, he's actually closer to the surface than a lot of the other swimmers. Now, this actually may be something he can improve upon to get more distance underwater so he can push the 15-meter mark and carry that speed underwater for longer. Take a look at both these guys in the lane next to him, and you look at how much more depth they have from where they are relative to where they are on the surface. I mean, look at Dylan Carter. It looks like he's going scuba diving down there relative to Jordan Crooks. Now, let's look at where he breaks out, and this is really important. So if you look at the breakout, look at this. Jordan Crooks is already doing his breakout, and this is the 10-meter mark right here. The 15-meter mark is not even on the screen yet, which means he has the opportunity to go even faster. If he can find a way to clean up his entry to the point that he's able to carry his speed without going too deep, I think that's one of the reasons he doesn't go too deep. He is trying to be shallow, but you lose a lot of speed when you do that. He's also...
Ferris is hitting the nail on the head right there. I mean, his insights and just things that he's pointing out are so true, and also just things that maybe if you don't have that analytical mind you wouldn't notice. But yeah, it's scary to think that Jordan could actually go quite a bit faster.
traveling the least amount of distance. When you go really deep, you might have a cleaner entry, but as a result, you're actually traveling more distance because you have to come back up to the surface. So there's a perfect formula, and everyone's going to be different based on your body weight and how tight you can hit the water and streamline, how much momentum you can carry. For him, he's obviously found a formula that's working. I think it can work even better if you can push more speed to go further underwater, because you're faster underneath the surface than you are above the surface. Now let's go ahead and just scroll through here frame by frame. There he's popping up. And actually, there's another thing. I just realized it. Look at his eyes. Look where he's looking. Again, that's creating resistance. You want to have your eyes locked down on the bottom of the pool, because what goes up must come down. And his legs are creating unnecessary resistance. Also, on the breakout stroke, when he pops up out of the water, if you think about that amplitude or that distance that he's traveling, right, he's going to pop up high, but his head is going to end up coming back down. So when you pop up really high out of the water, what goes up must come down. And then when you come down, you're actually going to be lower than your neutral body position. It's actually going to make you slower. So already, he's the fastest in the world. The first man to go 19.9. We've already found a few different elements that he can actually improve. Now, is he going to drop a full second by doing these things? No, of course not. He might drop 0.02, 0.05, 0.1, 0.2, right? We're talking about hundredths or tenths of a second. But at this speed, these are really, really important things to keep in mind. Now let's go ahead and move over to the breakout. You can see he's breaking out at only about 12 meters. I mean, look at where the 15-meter mark, it just came onto the screen. That is the 15-meter mark. He's already broken out. It looks like he's at about 12 and a half, maybe 13 meters on the breakout. He's traveling very, very fast at this point, probably about 10 kilometers an hour, which is pretty darn quick. Now let's go ahead and look at that. He on the dolphin kicks, really important to know, he did 6 dolphin kicks on the first 25, 8 dolphin kicks on the second 25. Look at those dolphin kicks. What a work of art. Let's go ahead and pause on that, because this is one of the things that everyone's been talking about, and I think there's more we can do to dissect it and really give it justice as to why this is so fast. I'm going to find a nice frame right there, and we're really going to, you know what? Let's go right. Ooh, that's a good one. You can really see his whole body's engaging at this point. Now, it's really important to remind ourselves, why is this important? This is the line. What is the line, you might ask? It is streamline. This is the fundamental body position in swimming. It's really important when you push off the wall or dive in that you start in this position. Why? Because water is 800 times more dense than air. The water is so thick, you want to cut through the water and reduce the amount of resistance that you have. But that's not enough, because if you just have a really tight streamline, you're not going to go anywhere if you don't have any propulsion. So when it comes to the kick and the underwater dolphin kick, what he's doing really well is what all the top swimmers do, but he's obviously doing even better. He's kicking in both directions. He's kicking up and down. And for Jordan Crooks specifically, and you see other swimmers like a Caeleb Dressel or even a Gretchen Walsh, they're kicking through their entire body. It's from the fingertips all the way to the toes. And so they're creating propulsion literally across their entire body.
And that's a big thing I stress to my swimmers as well, that it's your whole body working to produce speed and propulsion. It's not your arms separate to your legs. And Ferris is nailing it right here with what he's saying.
And this is one of the reasons why fish are so fast. Fish, sharks, dolphins, whales, all of these aquatic creatures are able to create propulsion through their entire bodies. We as humans, we cannot do that because we have joints, we have bones, we have limbs. These things don't curve. But the more that you can do this, the more that you can do it efficiently underwater, the faster you can go because you're leveraging more surface area. And this is the key to swimming faster. There are really only 2 ways. Number 1, you reduce drag, and number 2, you increase propulsion. So really keep that in mind, why he's moving so fast. And again, he could probably go faster because he can just do this for longer underwater. Here we go. Let's take a look. He is flying underwater. Fish, whale, shark. The other thing I wanted to nitpick on his technique, hopefully we can send this to him, and he knows where he can improve, but I'm sure he's very thrilled to go 19 point. Look at this breakout. I'm going to go frame by frame. Look, do you see what I'm seeing? Look at him, how high he is out of the water. Okay, that's where he is right there if you were not paying attention. So
Ferris is going to go and talk about how high he's come out. But what he's about to say, I would argue, is easier said than done. He's coming out with so much power and so much speed. It's going to kind of naturally force you to pop up high like that. And Ferris is going to say that is a fault, and I would say I don't know if you can come out any lower than that when you're putting so much force into the water. So, but let's see what Ferris has to say.
When you go up, something's down, and what goes up must come down. So it looks really exciting to see him, pop up and have all this. It's just like a whale or like an orca just coming out for its prey, and his prey in this case is that world record line. But you know what? That actually slows you down. It looks really cool, but it's not fast. And so what you want to do is you want to transfer your speed horizontally, because that's the direction you're going. When you go up, you're going to end up coming down. And you can actually, it's so easy to look at it in slow motion. You feel like a boss when you break out like that, but it actually slows you down. And that right there alone, of course, he's not going to be able to just change it. You have to train like that. But that right there accounts for at least 0.1 or 0.2. Very confident. If he can do that on both walls, he'll go 0.1 or 0.2 fast.
But when he's up high like that and he comes around with that first stroke, he's actually in more of a power position to grab more water. If he was to break out lower, he'd have to do some manipulating with his shoulders, which might cost energy. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. But, maybe Ferris is onto something, but, maybe not.
Let's go ahead and go frame by frame. You can see him flying out of the water like an orca. And then look what happens. He comes back down. And then after like 2 strokes, he's basically in the neutral position. And so you can see now, so now he was down, and then he's coming back up to the neutral position. And he is just plowing through the water. Now, it's really important to keep in mind that he is swimming with more power than we've ever seen any human go in a 50 freestyle. And that includes Caeleb Dressel's 17.63 swim. And that's a very comparable swim. Yes, 2 different pools, 25-yard pool, 25-meter pool. But it's really important to remind ourselves that Jordan Crooks is taking less strokes by a lot than Caeleb Dressel in both the 50-meter pool and even in a yard pool. And he can go even further underwater. Dressel could do this as well. Both of these guys have more room in the tank. I think the entire sport of swimming can go a lot faster than we are right now, because those who are as blessed as these guys to have these underwater abilities, if they truly leverage them to go 15 meters on both walls, they'd go maybe a full half second faster than what we're looking at. So, and I don't mean that by any stretch of the imagination. So this 19.9 would probably be like a 19.4.
And I agree with Ferris right there. I think both of them actually have room in the tank to go faster. And with Dressel's explosive start and Crooks's power, it's just, I think it would be so cool to see them head to head. And I hope Dressel gets back into top form and we can see that. For right now, we just got to kind of imagine it like I am right here.
I think if you train to be able to do that, it'll make it happen. Again, look at Dressel. He took way more strokes. Caeleb Dressel took 10 strokes on the way down. Compare that to Jordan Crooks. He only took, what did Dressel, no, so Dressel took, on his 17.6, he took 5 dolphin kicks on the way down, 6 dolphin kicks on the way back. He took 8 strokes on the way down, 11 on the way back. Jordan Crooks took 6 dolphin kicks on the way down, and then 8 dolphin kicks on the way back. He took 10 strokes on the way down.
And guys, if you want to know your true swim potential in this moment, I want you to take my quiz and we'll give you a score to let you know. Look in the comments below, click the link and find out. Big congrats to Jordan, and big thank you to Ferris. I mean, his insights are really spot on. Some of the things that he's mentioning are just really helpful for you to just be faster in freestyle, especially sprint freestyle. But yeah, there's things that I slightly disagree with, but Ferris knows his stuff, and I'm mostly in agreement with him. What do you guys think? Do you think those insights that he shared are something that are accurate, or do you think there was something missing? Let us know in the comments. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.